Okay everybody, welcome back to the channel. So recently just done a review and a little bit of a test with my current gamer in terms of shaft with the new AutoFlex. So a very different shaft, a very flexible, lightweight shaft, and some interesting results. Maybe not as big a gains as maybe I was hoping to possibly see, but it was a shaft that felt very, very different to me. Obviously got a little bit more of a kick in the bottom, but what I did find with it, it was pretty accurate. So since posting that video, a lot of you guys have commented on there and asked to sort of see if I can make some faster swings, go at it a little bit more in other words, which is what I'm going to do in this particular video. So we're going all out, put as much speed as I can. Let's see what speed I can get up to. I think if I can get it into 116 clubhead speed, that for me is going pretty quick. Is that to do with a little bit of the lightness of the shaft, a little bit of that kick at the bottom? We'll maybe sort of see it. And then as a consequence there, do I lose my dispersion? That'll be probably an interesting one to sort of look at on the actual numbers itself of TrackMan. Okay, so just to give you a heads up of what we've got in our hands. So we've got TSI 3, which is my driver, 9 degrees, set at A1, so just pretty standard with the weight, very neutral in the back. As I say, I've got the AutoFlex, which is the 505 XX, which sits in that clubhead speed of 110, 120 mile an hour. Flex point, which is roughly around that 57 gram mark as a weight. I've got it cut at 45 1/4, which is my playing length. And swing weight is D1.5 to be exact. Okay, let's go for it. I've had a bit of a warm up, so straight out the blocks, we're gonna get this driver moving as fast as I feel like I can. Let's see what speed we can get this up to. Okay, that's pretty straight to start off with, which is good. Oh, there we go, 116.4 straight out the blocks and really straight, 168 ball speed. Oh, 297 the carried, a really good spin. Now, what you'll probably have seen in the video is when I was testing this and looking at strike on the screen there as well, is because of the flexibility of the shaft, it does feel to me like the head's moving around, which I would then have an interpretation that I'm going to struggle to control dispersion, but that wasn't the case. It was pretty straight. But what I do find is when I miss the middle, what feels quite, what looks quite slight on the strikes, and again, some of you guys mentioned this, you said, well, that's not really a miss hit, that's not a million miles away, but I think with the softer shaft, it does feel like it twists a lot more. So again, it feels more of a miss hit than probably what it is, and it feels like I'm going to lose it, but it doesn't seem to go that far offline. So that was a nice little opening one there at 116.4. That's quick for me. Let's see if we can up it from there. Okay, that was a little bit more offline there. A little push up that right side again, 116, 166. Spin up a little bit more, just lost a tiny bit with that slightly open face. I think that's the difference there now when you've got something that's quite sort of flexible. It does feel like I've just got to wait for it a little bit in the transition. Sometimes tempting when you go into just all out speed, is just you get a bit snatchy, and I think with this particular shaft, I don't know whether it just struggles a little bit more at the bottom of the string. I think if I feel like I can wait for it and then fire it, it seems to control the strike a little bit more. That's a high toe, but I'll tell you what, that's straight. That feels like a complete miss hit. Well, it was a bit of a miss hit. See, ball speed has dropped because of that, so I lost a bit of carry, but again, clubhead speed, but it's straight. Just that, they feel really wobbly. It's probably the best description I can give you there. That softer mid to tip section, they just feel really sort of like the head's just moving around all over the place. But it seems to go fairly straight. That was a better strike, just pulled that a fraction, but very neutral in its flight. Again, 116, 168, a little bit more ball speed with that one. Just a little bit lower spin, that slightly higher strike. Not as good as that first one. I think I might have peaked a bit early straight out of the blocks. Come on, let's see if I can crank this up a little bit more. Looks a little bit spinnier, that one. 170, 118, there we go. Felt quick that actually. 172. 302, got it. Hit that, that 300 carry there, 118. That's fast for me. I don't think I've had it 118 well, maybe 10 years ago when I was a bit younger, but 170s, get it anywhere near 170 ball speed wise is really good. Right, come on, let's go a little bit more again if we can. Oh, that's a Healy one. Started left, but it's not really shaping. Ooh, 119. God, if I hit that a bit more middle, speed's getting there now. That is definitely my fastest clubhead speed I've had for a number of years. You know, and granted, I'm not going to be swinging like this on the golf course. You know, I'm just literally going for it. And it just feels like I've got not a lot of control in these types of shots. So as I say, if you're staring down an avenue on a tee box, you know, with out of bounds up the left, trees up the right, it's probably not a sort of swing you'd be putting on it. Again, nice neutral flight. 116.7, 165, not quite as much clubhead speed with that one. Definitely get that ball speed into that bit of heel strike there, get that ball speed into that 70s, that's the area. Just probably not doing myself any favours with this being 45.25 inch, which is obviously a quarter of an inch shorter than tightly standard at 45.5. Sometimes brands are at 40, 45 3/4, some are even offering 46 inches. So if I probably had this at obviously 46 inches, then I could be edging at 120 clubhead speed. Again, it's pretty straight there. It just feels like it's going to go all over the place. I just caught that a little bit low, yeah. So that's that. Ball speed's great. Just hit that a touch low. It's launched a little bit low. Just trying to get all these little ingredients right, isn't it? Optimize that launch. You know, this with the strike location. You know, with the speed. Get that spin right, and then you can get that carry. That's when the carry can just up it a little bit more. So straight on its flight. Again, you know that feel of that shaft, it shouldn't do it. Again, I've just got that a bit low in the face. 170, 192. Get that ball speed, that higher strike, that's over the 300 again. But again, look at that straightness of it. Okay, let's give this one more go. Try and get another one in that 300 marker. Felt a decent strike, just left it up that right. There's my ball speed, there's my launch. Oh God, if I didn't leave that face a bit open there, that spin's just climbed, it's just dropped it off. Right, okay, so I'm out of breath now, I'm goosed. So there we go, AutoFlex. It feels, again, very, very different. And what probably is quite interesting there, and we'll have a look at dispersion actually. Yeah, so if you have a look at that dispersion rings there, so that's all the 10 shots I've just hit. So you see these are all my total distances into there. I've just flipped that into carry distance alone. There we go. So we're all sort of around that 290 into that high 290s. Obviously that's the one where that really good strike got that 302 with that clubhead speed, and obviously that ball speed and getting that spin in the right area. And obviously you can just see that there, the couple I've just peeled a little bit to the right, an odd one left there. But do you know what? Look at the dispersion there, you know, 25 yards, probably like 30 yards there, maybe sort of similar 30 yards to the left of the middle of the fairway. You know, you're probably getting into that, maybe up that left side, depends on why the fairway, isn't it? But not bad considering that was just all out, just trying to hit speed. And again, looking at, you know, averages there. So 117, 168 ball, 11 degree, 2.5 spin. And again, that spin's really, really controlled. It's probably just that last one there that just creeped up a little bit more. But again, as I've just moved my strike around, the spin seems to be really controlled, which again goes against that feel of that really flexible bottom section of the shaft. But obviously they've got the peak one there at 119. I just didn't get the strike, was a little bit low, launched low, so I didn't get the return out of that, where you can see that 118 there, 171 with the right launch, a little bit of spin there just to keep it in the air but not going too much. You see, gets me that 302 marker. Right, okay, so a little bit of fun there really, more than anything, just to see how quick I can get this moving. And obviously the lightness of the shaft is going to sort of help a little bit with that speed. I think also with that softer mid to tip section there, the head can sort of just kick in a little bit more. And that was maybe my concern there when doing that. Do I feel like I can, well, it does, it feels like I'm going to lose a lot more control, but it wasn't too bad there in all honesty. And some that I felt like I missed it, but they actually came out quite straight. So again, it just goes against that feel that, or that perception I have that soft shaft is going to hit those sort of more wilder shots in a nutshell. Again, it'd be good to sort of see it in a 40 6-inch maybe, you know, possibly have to get my hands on another one. I'm definitely not going to buy another one at that price, because at $750 it's it's a bit of a hefty one, but different feel. Again, I'm going to try and get this out on the golf course and test it out there and see what it's like staring down an avenue. Those swings there probably aren't what I'm going to do on the golf course. You know, I tend to sort of sit in around that sort of 114 sort of speed area, which is quite quick for probably a golf course swing in a way. But just quite an interesting test and see where I can get it up. 119, I've not had it 119 for a long time, so interesting. Post your comments down below, let me know your thoughts. Is that something you've had a chance of trying? Have you got an AutoFlex? Love to hear your thoughts as always, and what you're doing with it, the playing length you've got it at, also the swing weight as well, because it is a little bit of a lighter swing weight here at D1, but I do quite like the feel of that, to be honest, in terms of a weight and a balance. Okay, appreciate watching the video. As always, if you've enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up, do share it around. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I very much appreciate your support. Just driving towards that 50,000 subscriber mark, so it'd be great to get there as soon as possible, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.